Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-second gaming, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how you guys can stop dying to third parties because it's one of the most annoying things on Kings Canyon right now. So we're going to be breaking down a few methods, and by the end of this video you will understand how to stop dying to those 3Ps. But now if you guys are here, it's obviously you're grinding ranked out this season and you're looking to hit a new peak rank. So if that's the case, then you need to go and check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there, we have Predator level coaches who know what it takes to play at the highest levels of the game, and they're sharing that knowledge with you. We have hundreds of site exclusive videos with more on the way every single week. So if you guys really want to get better at Apex, then you need to go over there right now because we're also having a sale. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership using code season14 to get that discount, or I'll steal all your shoelaces. But okay guys, let's talk about not dying to third parties, shall we? And the first tip that you guys have to be doing is you need to be scanning the drop locations. In the dropship, you always need to be looking around to be scanning the locations of where teams are dropping. You need to know what side of the map has the most people on it. You also need to know what POIs have people going to them, because if you need to make a rotation throw, you should know that there is a team either nearby or in it. And as you're flying down to your location, you need to be looking at if people are near you or dropping with you. Because if someone is dropping with you, not only do you need to know where they're dropping at that specific POI so you don't land on top of them, you also need to know if a team is landing near you guys, because if you start to fight the team that dropped with you, they're probably going to third party you. And if that's the case, if you know that that team is coming from a specific direction, you can start to place yourself in between the enemy team that's with you and the team that's coming to third party so that they get third partied instead of you. That way you don't die to them initially, and you can either back off if you're weak or re-engage to become the third party yourself and to clean up what kills are left. I see this happen way too often where teams just don't pay attention to their draw spot, they don't know what team's near them, they start to fight their 50-50, they get third party, they die, they lose points, and they are hard stuck. Don't be like them. But now tip number 2 is you guys need to know the area that you're fighting in. As you are rotating and making your way through the map, you need to be scanning the spot that you're in all the time. This is part of getting better game sense. Now, if you're the type of person who asks, how do I get better game sense? This is one of those steps, because you need to know where you can go if someone tries to fight you. If you're running around the map and you happen to run into a team and you start to fight them, that's one thing, you can get into that fight. But if a third party rolls in, the biggest thing that kills people is they start to become a deer in the headlights, where they don't know how to handle this situation. There's too many people shooting at them, they freak out, they panic, they shut down, and then they die. Don't be like them, be prepared. If you know that the team's in front of you and the third party's coming from your left, you should know that behind you or to your right is safe. But let's just say you put yourself into a bad spot and behind you is a solid wall and you can't get through it. Then you should know that you can't turn around and run straight backwards. And don't laugh, trust me, I've seen it happen to people. But I've also seen people panic and try to run through a team to escape, and that also doesn't work. You guys need to know what direction is safe to go so that you don't get caught out by that third party. And this leads perfectly into our third tip, and that is you guys need to have better reaction time to the third parties. And when you guys are listening to this, don't be scared initially, because this is something that you're going to have to build up over time and grow with as a player. But you initially need to know if your team is capable of fighting off the third party or if you need to back off and rotate out. Now, if you're the one that's making this decision, you have to understand that every single time you will not make the right call. You're going to mess up, you're going to overestimate your team's abilities, you're going to try to fight the third party off, you're going to die. Or on the flip side, you might say, hey, let's rotate out, and you could get your team killed because one of the teams just continues to chase. It happens, it's part of the game, it's Apex, people are going to do stuff that you don't expect all the time, so you kind of have to roll with it. But as you're figuring this out and as you're learning it, if you still don't understand when a good time to leave is, then you should follow this rule of thumb. When in doubt, get the fuck out. If you seriously cannot figure out when you should stay in a fight or when you should leave, then you should always just rotate out. You can always disengage, heal up, restabilize, and then go back into the fight as the fourth party or fifth party or whatever at that point the teams are. But instead of trying to put yourself in the middle of the fight and stay there to try and get a few extra KP, you've got your team out safely, you're all full health, and you're able to re-engage as a full strength unit. So that's why it's always the best rule of thumb to get out of a fight if you are a little bit worried. And now tip number 4 is to stop egoing fights. Now this is something that I see through all of the ranks in Apex, and it gets people killed in every single rank, from rookie to predator. I'm going to say this slowly because it's something that I have to hammer into everyone's heads. You do not have to kill everyone in the lobby. I get that this season they took away the diminishing returns on kills, and the more kills you get, the more points you get. But if you're risking throwing your entire game out the window just to get 2 or 3 more kill points, then is it really worth it? Some games, yeah, it might be, but other games, no, it isn't. And in the long run, gaining RP in Apex is all about being consistent. So if you're consistently saving your RP and not taking those fat losses because you tried to ego a fight, then you're going to climb a lot easier. Now, this is going to be something that a lot of you are going to have a hard time hearing, because I had a hard time hearing it the first time I needed to learn it. But seriously, you guys need to learn to let your ego go and when to give up on fights. Surviving and winning the game is always a better option than dying to that third party or fourth party or fifth party, because it's Kings Canyon. If you keep a fight going, more teams are bound to show up until it's the last team. Now, tip number 5 is learning to let your teammates die. Now, this is more aimed towards the solo queue players, but it can still work in 3 stacks as well. A lot of the times I see people lose RP because they try to stay in fights when they know they should leave, but they want to stay there for their team even though it's a lost fight. Now, I'm going to have you guys close your eyes and picture this and let me know if it sounds familiar. You get into a fight, your teammates get low, you'd maybe knock 1 or 2 on the enemy team, but in return one of your teammates gets knocked and the other one is extremely low. Then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear the voice line calling that there is a third party, and you say to your other teammate, hey, let's get out of here, but they don't listen, they stay there and they try to fight. Then they go down, but because you tried to be a good teammate, you're stuck in the middle of 2 teams now and they're all shooting at you. Then you die, your game's over, you got negative, and now you're swearing at randoms because they all suck. Now you can open your eyes again. Does that sound familiar? I'm willing to bet it does. So you guys have to learn when to let your teammates die. If they're putting you in a bad spot and they're going to die anyway, it's not worth you dying as well. Run away, try to circle back for banners if you can, but if you can't, then go and RAF for some placement points. They might try to get mad at you and say that if you stayed there you could have won the fight, but it's a third party and you're one guy. It's not going to happen. Just mute them, go on with your game, and get those points. Because at the end of the day, if you're solo queuing, you're playing for your points, not theirs. It's not worth throwing your game just to try and help them out when they don't want to win. If they're only there to get kills, then they're going to throw your game because they don't really care about points, they just care about looking cool. And it's never worth dying for. Now, I'm going to be honest, it isn't the most glamorous way to play because ratting can be kind of boring. But it's better for you as a player because you'll get more points out of it, you'll start to climb, and as you hit higher ranks, you do tend to get a little bit better teammates. And those teammates understand the value of RP. So yeah, learn to let your teammates die. That's really what I'm just trying to hammer right now. But now I want to throw a question out to you guys, the community. Is there a little tip or trick that you use to handle third parties? If so, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear other methods that people use, and hey, maybe you might help out somebody that's reading these comments. So yeah, drop it down below. And with all this being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did and you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you guys in the next one.